Hey there YouTube, this is Aisha and this is going to be a definition video. Now I'm going to be focusing my channel mostly on romance, and there's going to be a lot of books in romance that I'll be featuring, so I wanted to give a definition so that people wouldn't be like, well, we don't really read romance. Now the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is the subgenres in romance. Romance, what makes romance different from a regular book? And romance, the books feature the main character, either male or female, falling in love with another character, either male or female. Sometimes there can be several partners, sometimes there can be just two partners. The entire focus of the book will be the two main characters coming together, whether it's personal growth or familial growth that will take place in between. Whether there's crisis or not, the main characters at the end will either come together or have a happy ending. Now, so that's what romance is. Under romance, there's several different branches. One of the main ones that are really big right now, there's contemporary, there's erotica, there's new adult, and there's paranormal. There's sci-fi, and I'm sure there's more that I don't know about. Now, the ones that I will be talking about are the ones that I do know about, and my favorite one is the erotica genre. Erotica genre has several subsets itself, and erotica genre can have polyamorous relationships where there is more than one male partner or one female partner, or there can be a group thing. And an example of that would be Flying by Night by Lorna Tedder is a good one. A popular one will be Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake series. I didn't say it was a good done version of a polyamory relationship, but it's a polyamorous relationship. Now, what makes erotica erotica? Erotica, of course, is the focus on the sex. Whether that's BDSM, leather, or the abnormal or different. I don't think it's abnormal, but, some people. Difference is the focus of the book will be on the sex. The partners work towards, they may start out having sex or work towards having sex. The character development and growth may come after, but it's not the main focus of the book. There will be a higher concentration of sex in the books and exploration of sexuality and what it means to be defined by your sexuality. That's what erotica is. So erotica will have a very bigger concentration on sex and the way it affects relationships. Then there's contemporary. Contemporary is a broad subset. You can have contemporary paranormal or contemporary romance. Contemporary just means that it happens now, in our modern day. So there's also historical. Historical will be historical fiction, which goes back into time and rewrites a popular event. So like Antony and Cleopatra. There's a lot of rewritten stories about Antony and Cleopatra and what happened and how it happened. We don't really know. We just make it up as we go along. And that's historical fiction. Now, contemporary deals with the modern day, and it deals with right now what's happening. So you will see talk about Facebook or, MySpace, which is really, really old, but people in contemporary romance use things that are happening right now. So cell phones, computers, FaceTime, Skyping, all of that in modern day, everyday world is there. Then there's futuristic. Futuristic, of course, happens in a far off time where the person can create, where it'll be like a contemporary futuristic, where there'll be a lot of the technology we have now, but just more advanced. And that kind of falls under the scientific branch. And scientific branch of romance will include someone like J.D. Robb, who writes really great mysteries with a strong romantic element because the main character is married, and we see her relationship and how it affects her casework and how her work affects her relationships. One is a futuristic sci-fi because all of the tools and utensils she's using are things that we don't have right now, or things that we're working on having right now, but it's futuristic because it takes place in 2060 or 2059, after, like, say, they call it the Urbans, which is like World War III amplified to include the entirety of social structure, and everything has changed. So science fiction will also include time travel. So time travel novels can be either futuristic time travel, where they go into the future, or historical time travel, where they go into the past. And you will have people like Karen Marie Moning. Diana Gabaldon is the most popular one for time travel. Then there's Lynn Kurland. Okay, so that's our scientific romance. Then there's paranormal romance. And paranormal romance is massive because it's part of, you have it in young adult as well. Paranormal romance, however, is more focused on characters that are not in our everyday world. Characters that you would see in our mythologies. Dragons, gargoyles, werewolves, shapeshifters of any way, shape, or form. Charlene Harris is known for it. Ellie Banks is another one. Cheyenne McGray, Keely Armstrong. If you want to go with the contemporary paranormal, you have like Linda Howard, Dinah McCall, Heather Graham. And what I mean contemporary paranormal is in our modern day world, where someone who's a psychic or someone who's a witch. Maggie Shane is another one, where being a witch is just part of being human, but it just means you have a little bit extra talent. So they'll be police officers, or they work with the police, or they work with the FBI, like Heather Graham's Crew of Hunters books. So, and then there's new adult. And new adult, I talked about, is the young kids. They're not YA, but they're not quite older adults either. And I think a majority of romance falls within that, where it's, you're in your 20s to early 40s, and you're getting that first blush of real love, or you're getting over that high school heartache, and you're finding yourself and finding that one true love. Whereas a lot of the older fiction talks about like divorce, people who've had kids and been married for 20 years and are maybe getting divorced, or they're reigniting their relationship. So that kind of romance and that kind of fiction I don't read, because that doesn't appeal to me. So you won't see too many of those on here. The next branch of romance, which is very small but is growing, is interracial romance. And like, you really have to kind of struggle to find interracial romance books, and that is sad. There's also African American romance books written by African American authors, because white authors seem to have a problem with writing good African American characters that aren't, girl, or you get it, girl, because we all talk like that, or we're all cafe a lot. Like, we are all not light-skinned black people. Get it together. There's some beautiful dark-skinned sisters out there. Me being one. But, so you have African-American authors like Brenda Jackson, Zuri Day, Donna Hill, Kimbala, Lawson Roby. There's so many of them. But those are the ones that I have on the tip of my tongue. And those are the ones I have on my shelf. Then interracial romance, and I kind of hate that word, but I think it should be intercultural, because we're all one race, we're all a human race, but we are different cultures. Like, I'm a descendant of the African culture, but I'm also from the Jamaican culture, and you may be a white guy from the European culture, but you're still, that's your culture. Say you're Italian, that's your culture. And there are black Italians out there. I know one. Actually, I know a whole family. But that's not the point. The point being interracial or intercultural romance, where, say, a character is an Arab character dating a white woman, or a black man dating a white woman, or a white woman dating a black man, or a black woman dating anybody out there. Native American man. A lot of people don't consider those interracial. Like, say, when they'll have like a Native American character or Indian character or an Arab character, but whenever it's a black and white, they will call it interracial. You do realize all of them are interracial, right? Another growing dynamic that I'm seeing in contemporary romance is the characters that are flawed. And I don't mean just mentally, where they're talking about mental diseases and how it affects relationships, which I'm really loving, because not everyone is completely and totally healthy. But there are characters like in Catherine Anderson's book where the character's in a wheelchair, or a character's blind, or and they still manage to find love. And they're still dynamic people, and they're still whole and complex. So that's a growing thing that's happening in the diverse world, where people are living with heart disease, or they may have cancer, or be getting over cancer, or may have one time had a childhood disease that affects the way they do their life on a daily basis. So that's another growing aspect. And I'll be doing a lot of books featuring those. So there you have it, guys. That's the definition of romance, and that's some examples of the authors that are in each group. I didn't give a lot of authors for each group, but new adult is big right now, so you can just pick a new adult author and you have a new adult romance. So like Chalissa Fine. There you have it. We've talked about interracial, we've talked about scientific, we've talked about paranormal, new adult, and regular romance. And of course, erotica. And the fact that erotica encompasses all of that and more in its subgenres. So you'll see a lot of books and a lot of versatility, a lot of variety. So you're going to see a lot of books and a lot of variety on here. I will do a lot of reviews and a lot of ratings. And that will be the main focus of my channel, will be sharing my love of romance in all its guises. So there's mystery and romantic suspense and sci-fi and all of that. But romance is romance, and you gotta love love. So there you have it. I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Name some really good authors that you love that are in the genre of romance, and I will check them out if I haven't checked them out already. And I will be putting up my recommendation videos based on a bunch of things. So there will be one on time travel, there will be one on dragons, there will be one on vampires. If I think of it, there will be a video on all of them. And of course, there will be videos for interracial romance as well as regular romance. And then there's African American romance. So there's going to be a lot of variety out there. So leave your recommendations down in the comment section, and I will check some of those authors out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!